YouTube, what's going on, man? It's your boy King. It's Deuce, of course. King and Deuce Show, man. We got some Pistons basketball to talk about, man. Summer League is a wrap. We're getting ready to head into camp, sooner than later. A lot going on right now. But before we get into any of that, my man Deuce was highlighted. He was highlighted, man, on the news, and I think it's time for you to do a little bit of gloating. You deserve it, Deuce. You worked really hard. You worked really hard, man. You deserve it. Let's highlight my man Deuce. Deuce, how you doing, my brother?
First of all, how y'all doing, man? How you doing, bro? How you feeling, man, on this happy Tuesday?
I'm definitely doing fine, man. I'm breathing. It's good enough for me.
That's a blessing in itself, right?
Right.
Man, yeah, appreciate you, bro. Like you said, Joe, I'm not really good at self-promotion. It's always been an Achilles heel of mine, and I'm told all the time that's gonna be my issue until I get over it. But yeah, so I was on the news. Thank you, bro. I appreciate that you saying that. I was on Fox 2 News this past Friday just promoting my music that you guys have all heard, right? Destination Restoration, Baton, and stuff like that. And just they were interested in just talking to me about that. They've obviously seen what I'm doing with the Pistons and things like that, and got a chance to kick it with them, So I actually have a snippet here I'm gonna play for y'all. It's a few minutes long, but just for anybody who missed it, I'm gonna just go ahead and play it for y'all. So check it out.
Around our city and its culture. He also created last season's Detroit Pistons anthem. Joining me now is said creative Downtown Deuce. And just look at him. He looks so cool and relaxed. He's leaning in his chair, got his glasses on. Deuce, how are you?
I'm wonderful. How you guys doing?
Pretty good. Yeah. So, tell us about this. You're so in touch with Detroit and its culture. You know a little bit about everything. I know you also created the Detroit Pistons anthem. Is that kind of like the song they come out of the locker room to? All of that? So they play that and they come out and they're playing your song.
You're on it. Yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
How, tell us about that process of like coming up with a song that kind of represents Detroit and the Pistons, something that they come out of the locker room every game to. That seems like a lot of pressure, first of all. But tell us about the creative process behind that.
For sure. So anyone who knows me knows that my passions are music and Detroit sports. And so I was able to combine those two by putting together an anthem song. And me being very familiar with the Pistons, being a lifelong fan, I knew a lot about the background of the players and things like that. So I really personalized the song for the players so that they would really understand the depth of how much we appreciate them. And so after that, after I released it on all platforms, I actually had DJ Chachi is his name. Shout out to him. He's the head DJ at Little Caesars Arena. And he actually hit me up. He sent me a DM and said, "Hey, I love your song. Send it to me. I want to play this at the arena."
It's really catchy. I heard it earlier today and I was like dancing a little bit. I was bopping a little bit.
Okay.
So I know that you're also appearing on Love and Marriage, Detroit, kind of going through the process of creating this single for the Pistons. So tell us a little bit about that. How does it feel to be featured on a TV show? You're working with the Pistons. This is all a pretty big deal for you.
It really is. I have to give a lot of credit to Christina and Brandon Smith. Those are two of the co-stars of Love and Marriage Detroit. Shout out to them. But I actually decided to include Christina because she is pursuing her music career as well. And she's a very talented artist in her own right? And so I told her, "Hey, I want you on this record for me for the Detroit Pistons for next season." And she said, "Yeah, I'm game." So we got in the studio, which you may see a little bit of footage on season 2 coming out in the fall. We got in the studio, put it together, and she performed beautifully on that.
Yeah, I can't wait to hear it. Is that going to be the next anthem?
That's the hope, right? I'm going to send it over to DJ Chachi and see what we can do. But I want to give a shout out too to Kay Cunningham, his cousin, Ashton. He's actually responsible for that mantra, "While they sleep, we work," and that's the name of the song. And it basically means no days off. Whenever you feel like you're tired, but you got to get up and do the work.
No days off. You got to get up. You got to keep grinding.
Got to keep grinding.
Got to keep going.
That's it.
So I know you're working on some stuff for the Lions, right? And tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so I'm working on some Lions content. My first Lions record, right? But I hope it's well received, but it's kind of got a different flavor to it. And it's going to be ready just in time for the season. So I'll have more for you guys soon, for sure.
So what's next for Downtown Deuce? You got your hands full. You're working with the Pistons, the Lions, Love and Marriage Detroit.
Yeah.
I feel like what's next? What can top that, really?
For me, it's all about giving back to my city.
Yeah.
So whatever that means, whether it's through acting or whether it's through music or whether it's through whatever it is, I just want to continue to pour positivity into my city. And the best way that I know how to do that is through music. And I've gotten a great reception so far. So I'm just going to continue to get the people what they want.
Yeah. So let our viewers at home know, how can they connect with you? Where can we find you? Social
sure.
media pages, website, any of it?
Absolutely. Yeah, you can find me downtown Deuce, downtown DEUCE for all my sports junkies. If you want to get more personal on the music side, you can follow me at KDeuce_music. You can catch me in the lab at the studio at Star Factory Artist Development, where we do all of our recording and things like that. And yeah, with Christina and Brandon Smith, those are the owners there. So yeah, come check us out.
All right, Deuce. Well, thanks so much for joining us here.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
Yeah.
You muted, Deuce. Unmute your mic. Can y'all hear Deuce? I can't hear you. We still can't hear you. Toggle around them settings. But at the end of the day, man, that's just like I said, Deuce. You work hard, too hard. You know what I'm saying? We talk every day, man. You put the work in. You deserve all the praise, all the dedication, and keep pushing, man. You know, that's just what we do. Keep pushing. Keep pushing. You look real comfortable, you know, sitting there in that interview. Real comfortable. Like you've been there multiple times. So he's trying to get his audio together, y'all. But yeah, man. Shout out to Deuce, man. You know, and shout out to Fox too, man. They definitely, you know, take the opportunity to highlight people for what they do, especially in the city. So shout out to them, man. All right, man. So, you know, I kind of don't want to get into the Pistons Summer League yet before Deuce got in here because I know he got a lot to share. Never mind my dog in the background. Office is under construction. I got to do what I got to do, right? So, but, you know, looking at the Summer League overall, obviously, you know, we all talked about you got to take everything with a grain of salt. You know what I'm saying? It is a Summer League. The competition level is just not where, you know, some of these young guys are going to be dealing with in camp and in preseason and in regular season going forward. So, but you're looking for traits, you look for signs, you look for those type of things. Obviously, our fifth pick in Holland, you've seen ups and downs. You've seen ups and downs. Kind of slow to start in the Summer League, had a game off, but, you know, started to look a little bit more comfortable each game he played. Still got a lot of work to do, right? Even though he did knock down a few shots the last couple of games from the outside, still got some work to do. Still shot 29% overall in the Summer League. So,
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Welcome
My
back.
bad, man. Yeah. Just wanted to say I appreciate everybody's support, man. And I didn't mean to cut you off, bro, but yeah, appreciate everybody's support. A lot more coming, a lot of music on the way. Shout out to AB and everybody. Yeah, so let's talk some Pistons basketball. I know you already got started. Just catch me up real quick.
Yeah, just talking about the Summer League overall, man. You know, just understanding what it is first and foremost. Something that we talked about over and over, right?
Yeah.
But at the same time, looking for signs. You know what I'm saying? Looking for flashes. That's what we're looking for in Summer League. You know,
Yep.
The competition level is the competition level, but you're looking for flashes. And I was talking about Holland, and you know, you seen him progress game to game.
Yeah.
You even seen him taking shots. You know, even though they weren't falling all the time, he was taking them from the outside. Shot 29% overall in the Summer League.
Right.
We knew that drafting him, right? So that's to be expected.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he's going to be in the gym. He's going to be working on his jump shot.
Yeah.
The ability to get to the basket, take contact, absorb it, and still make shots was the most impressive thing that I've seen from him in the Summer League. What'd you think?
Interesting. Yeah, that was impressive for sure. Because we heard a lot of things about that. I think for me, I actually had a couple of notes here on Ron Holland, just looking up his stats and things like that, just so we can kind of recap everybody. And so this is kind of what he looked like this summer league. He averaged 18 points, 7 rebounds, 2 assists, steal and a half, block a game on 40% from the field. I think you mentioned that, and 23 from 3. And so, you know, he didn't play great the first couple of games for me, but I do think that his ceiling is like ridiculously high. He just looks like a player to me who hasn't even tapped into his ability yet, bro. Like when I watch him, he's so raw. But the things that he randomly does and flashes, you know what I mean? Like, it just, oh, he's got that too. He's got that in his bag. I didn't know he had that. I thought he could only do this. It just shows his potential. And so I just feel like he's not great at anything yet, but he has the ability to be great at a lot of things, or at least really good at a lot of things, especially defensively. It looked like early on he was just trying to kind of feel the games out, but as he started to get more comfortable, you saw him become a little more aggressive, and it showed.
Yeah, most definitely, man. Like I said, just, getting to the basket is going to be key for him right now. And for him to be able to do that, get those and one opportunities, it can get the rest of your game going.
Right.
Before you know it, you stepping back out to that 3-point line and you shooting them threes a little bit more confidently because you got yourself going. You get into that free throw line. And that's going to be his calling card for right now. Until he can get to that point, that's his calling card. Getting to the basket, drawing fouls, just being disruptive out there on the defensive end. Those are going to be his calling cards right now in his young career.
It's interesting too, bro, because his jumper doesn't look broken. It actually looks a lot better than I originally thought coming out of the draft. But to me, that's music to my ears to hear that, Coach Fred Vincent was wasting no time, getting in the lab with him. His first day here, he said, Fred is amazing. My first day, we got in the gym immediately. So Fred Vincent isn't wasting any time. He understands the assignment. You know what I mean? And that was very, very encouraging to hear that he's not even letting guys put their luggage down before he get them in the gym. So I do think with that being said, I don't think he's going to have much of a role this year. But I think his focus for this team for now should just be, like you said, driving to the basket, and for me, on the defensive end, and turning defense into offense. I think if he does that and he just incrementally improves his shooting season over season, if he's able to reach that potential, he can be one of the best two-way players in the league.
Yeah. Yeah, and the interesting part for me is, with me, I'm always a person that's going to tell you, hey, if we take a young person, I feel like they should start out in the G League. You know what I'm saying? Just to get their feet wet. But obviously where he comes from, how much is he really going to learn in the G League? That he hasn't already seen already. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, I don't know, man. Trying to find him a spot where he can at least get on the court is going to be tough right now with the way the roster is constructed. So, like I said, in camp, in practice, his calling card is going to have to be a defensive mindset right now. A defensive mindset. Maybe that can get you on the basketball court. You never know. So people get injured. Things happen. Right now, focus on what you're good at. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I just think that's where it is right now with Ron Holland. But on the other hand, we got to talk about Klintman.
Okay.
Klintman,
yes, sir.
A lot of good flashes. A lot of good flashes, man.
Talk about
shooting the basketball. I mean, like I said, a lot of the shots that he was taking were uncharacteristic. It's not something that he would be shooting out there on the court. It would be more of setup shots, in rhythm, things like that. But he wasn't scared to let it fly at all. The ability to push the ball up, the ability to push the ball up the court, impressive. His passing, very impressive. When it comes to the passing department, man. So, like I said, he definitely showed a lot of flashes. Him taking time in the G League, I think, will benefit him to get himself going into a rhythm. So it's going to be interesting to see how they handle Klintman.
Yeah, man. Yeah, a lot of what you said is what I echo for sure. I looked up his numbers. So here were Bobi's stats. I call him Bobi, even though it is Bob. I just like calling him Bobi. Like having a Bobi on the team since Boban, for those who remember him. Anyway, he averaged 11 points, 7 rebounds, 4 assists, a steal and a half a block a game on 42% from the field and 42% from 3 in 29 minutes per game. And if we're being honest, 2.5 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, nobody thought we'd be talking about Bobi Klintman's ascension in Summer League. I know I did not for sure. That's the last thing I thought we'd be talking about coming out of Summer League. You know what I mean? And that's no slight to him. I just didn't know his game. But what stands out to me about him, bro, is his poise. He's so composed, man. He doesn't get sped up. He doesn't get too high. He doesn't get too low. He's steady. I like his versatility too. He can play a lot of different positions. I saw his draft combine interview, right? And he said that he feels he can play in guard 2 through 4. And he said that he's really comfortable playing guard. And we saw some of that, right? We saw some of his guard skills on display in summer league. So, just bringing the ball up the court, initiating offense, directing traffic, stuff like that, making plays. So it'll be interesting to see how Bickerstaff utilizes him. And you can call me crazy. Y'all can call me crazy. But I think he's going to be in the rotation this season. Like this season. I don't think he's gonna need a year. He was not gonna start or anything like that. But I think post All-Star break, maybe even sooner than that, I think he's going to force his way into the rotation. We got to keep in mind too, he is 21. We talked about, I think you mentioned that, King, a couple weeks ago. Mm-hmm. So he's played at the pro level for a couple of years now. And I don't think that his NBA transition is going to take as long as it takes other players. So I'm going to call it now. I think come 2025, Bobi Klintman is going to be in the rotation. Book it.
Yeah, absolutely, man. You
on mute, bro.
Oh, I am?
It's your turn.
Can you hear me?
Nope.
Really?
Lost you. Can y'all hear him?
Can y'all hear me in the comments?
Y'all can't hear you, Brody. Y'all let us know in the comments if y'all can hear. King. Maybe it's just me.
Yeah, they can hear me.
Oh, maybe it's me then. Hold on.
So while Deuce is out, I'm gonna go ahead and answer his question. First and foremost, Bobi Klintman is useful. He's useful. And what I mean by useful is when he's not knocking down shots, when the shots aren't falling, he finds other ways to affect the game. A coach can always use that on the court. A player that knows how to find other things to do out there on the court, other ways to be useful, is always going to see minutes. Always. And with him doing that at a young age, coming into the league is impressive. So, like I said, he'll find his way on the court one way or another if he keeps up the same type of mentality that he has. Very, very, very good IQ. Smart player. Very smart player. Under control. Like I said, I was on the flip side of it, I was so upset at our guards because I seen this young man open so many times out there on the court. And guys like Sasser just wouldn't throw him the ball. You know what I'm saying? It was just pissing me off the whole time. What's up, Kay? I see you in the comments before you get started. But listen, man, you're going to find yourself minutes on the court when you can be productive in other ways. So that's huge for him. His attitude, everything about him, I love it. I absolutely love it. This definitely could be one of those diamond in the rough type of players in this draft. Like I said, it is the summer league, but the traits that we've seen in the summer league has nothing to do with competition level. It's more about mentality. A lot of players don't have the mentality to keep them on the court, to play winning basketball. You see so many young guys come in the league that just don't have that. They don't have that. One speaking, obviously, Andre Drummond's a different player now. Came in the league, he was young. The Pistons were advertising him as the guy, which they should have never done, but he didn't understand that at the time. And then you seen him talking to other young guys recently, explaining to them that's the type of player that you have to be walking into the league. You have to always get that effort. You can't get down on yourself and beat yourself up because your shots ain't falling and everything else. That's the type of player that you got to be as a young player in this league if you want to get on the court and stay on the court. So I'm giving Klintman I'm definitely giving him the praise that he deserved for this summer league performance, man. On the other hand, you got players like Sasser, right? Sasser was put out there to try to be a facilitator. to try to see how he can run an offense out there. Pace, everything, right? That's what you were looking for from Sasser. You wasn't looking for how many buckets he dropped. We seen him play real NBA games. We know he's a bucket. You know what I'm saying? It's mentality. Once again, Sasser has to understand that, listen, I'm a killer. I got to go out here. I got to kill you. I got to absolutely destroy you. I have to destroy you, period. So go out there and let it fly. What type of player, what type of role would they have for him? I'm not sure. Will they go get a veteran to play backup point guard? I'm not sure. I still think we need one, me personally. I'm not comfortable with him at backup. I know a lot of people are not. Again, to me, he's far from a point guard. So I don't know. We'll see how this roster, is going into the season. It's looking like it's going to stay like it is. I think the Pistons are holding on to some money for a purpose, obviously, later on, mid-season type of ordeal. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. A lot of people was talking Jenkins, right? Another guard, impressive in the summer league. Had some really good games for us. Two-way deal guy. The Pistons like him. We talked a little bit about it last stream, what his role could be with this team. I don't know. I don't know if he's going to crack that roster. I don't know. Like I said, training camp's going to tell us everything. Camp is going to tell us everything that we need to know because you just don't know. I was speaking on our.
I'm sorry, y'all. Look, post in the chat if I should get a new laptop. For real, this is taking way too much. All right. Catch for the last time. Catch me up.
No, I was just speaking on the guards, man. Speaking on Sasser and what we, was supposed to be looking at for Sasser, which was facilitating pace, things like that.
Yeah.
Gave the example, Summer League. I mean, Summer League is Summer League, right? We've seen him in real basketball games knock down shots.
Right.
I'm not really concerned with how many shots he made or missed. It is a little concerning that he missed all of them from outside. But, at the end of the day, I mean, it's simply just, man, go out there, run the offense, try to get everything in the flow. Me personally, I didn't really like the job he was doing.
Yeah.
I don't like him trying to play point guard personally.
Yep.
I was talking a little bit about how Klintman was wide open this entire summer league, and dudes just will not throw the ball to him. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Man,
too many times.
Too many times.
So like with Sasser, bro, like I don't know, man. Okay, so he got off to a slow start in summer league, right? I know he picked his game up late in the last few games. He got more aggressive, looking for his offense. Here's the thing for me with Sasser, bro. And what I'm about to say has nothing to do with him. It's more so to do with the roster construction and roster need. It's not about his talent, man, because I think he's such a talented player. I just think as far as his role, I just think, if anything, he would be more of a depth guy. I don't see him playing a lot of minutes. At this stage, he seems more suited to play the two. And, with the shooting that we just added at the two guard spot with Beasley and Hardaway, I just don't see how he finds consistent minutes, barring trades or injuries that could always happen. But I just don't see a path really for him this season with what we've added.
Yeah, I just want a point guard,
right?
To come in behind Cade. So staggering right now, what we've talked about in previous episodes, staggering is looking like the way to go for me. Staggering him in Ivy right now looks like the way to go until we can get a true legit backup point guard.
Yep.
Backup point guard. So
100%.
Trust me, it's no slander towards Sasser, but I'm talking as evaluating this roster that we have right now and his role. Again, Langdon has his guys. He's not a Langdon guy.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So hey, finding a role for him is going to be interesting for me.
Like you said, man, if there's always possibility of injuries and things like that. So there could be a pathway, that way. I just don't see. And like I said, it's nothing to do with his talent, because I do think he's a very talented player. I just think there are guys who fill the roles of what we need a little bit better than what he offers right now. And as far as ball handling and things like that, we obviously have that too, with Caden and Jaden Ivey. So we'll see. We'll see how it plays out. We'll see if, JB can find a role for him, with the second unit or whatever. So we'll see. Did you talk about Jenkins yet?
I was just on Jenkins when you came back.
Okay, bet. Let's get to it. Yeah, do you think?
Trying to find him a role. You know what I'm saying? Two-way guy, right? Pistons absolutely love him.
Yeah.
Impressive to Summer League. Had his moments. But again, looking at the roster, trying to find him a spot. Trying to find him a spot to get on the court. That's where I'm hung up at.
Okay. I think that's fair. I think that's totally fair. So let's just look at his numbers real quick, because I did have a few numbers on Jenkins as well, and I actually was a little bit surprised by the numbers. I thought his numbers were a little bit more, not bigger, but just a little bit more inflated than what they actually were. So just looking at his numbers, he averaged 10 points, 10 rebounds, or 3 rebounds, 4 assists, a steal, and a block a game on 35% from the field, which isn't great, and 33% from 3, which isn't great, in about 26 minutes per game. So, those numbers don't look great. I actually didn't realize he shot that low of a percentage from the field and from 3. I felt like he shot better than that. But aside from the numbers, he was a welcome surprise for at least for me, but many Pistons fans. And I think he played really well, in Summer League. And I like with him, I like his ability to be able to play either guard spot. I think he's a pretty good facilitator. He looks to get, others involved first, but I think he's a good enough scorer to still be able to keep defenses honest. And I do want to see his shooting get more consistent, because through those first couple games, I think he shot 50% from 3, right? Or 50% from the field and 40% from 3. And then those numbers dropped to about 35 and 33 overall, respectively. So with that being said, though, I do think that he's proven himself to be an NBA player, and I hope the Pistons keep him around. But I definitely do think that when it comes to Jenkins, that he should stick around on this team, even if it isn't in a consistent game-to-game backup role. I do think he could be a good backup point guard. We'll get to that later, but I definitely want to keep him on this team.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I just don't. I can't find a spot for him right now. So we'll see. We'll see what happens, man.
Yeah.
But Summer League overall, you know what I'm saying? Let's, taking a look around the league, you've seen a couple of guys, right? We've seen Modest, right? We've seen some of these other names. We've seen Klingon. We've seen other guys that we want to hear in Pistons jerseys, right?
Right.
A lot of them had their ups and downs as well, but that's what you expect to see in the Summer League. We haven't had to we haven't took an opportunity to talk about one player in particular. This is not to start up the debate.
Oh,
I'm
shoot.
Serious. But Deuce, how do you feel about Bronny James?
So look, I'm gonna be honest. I had little expectation when it came to him when he first got drafted. A lot of people just look at the brand, and I think subconsciously expect him to be better than what he maybe really is realistically going to be, just because of the name. Obviously I've watched him. I've watched him since he was in middle school, so I have seen his game kind of progress and evolve. I never thought he was going to be an NBA star. You know what I mean? Even when he was younger. So for me, he's right where I think he should be. I thought he was kind of get off to a slow start, which he did. He played pretty bad those first few games. I saw a House of Highlights video on YouTube, and the thumbnail said 2 points. I was like, come on, bro. What are we doing? Come on. Why is this a video? But he had a game where he was like 2 points, and he shot terrible from 3 and everything. But slowly, he began to figure things out. And I think that's kind of going to be his career. I don't ever think he's going to be physically heads and shoulders above anybody, really, when it comes to anything physically. but I think that his mind and his understanding of the game is going to be his biggest weapon. I think that's going to enable him to be a solid role player in this league. I don't think he's going to be a star. He may not even be a fringe star, but I think he has a path to being a solid role player, starting on the defensive end of the floor and slowly developing and understanding the offense. I think it's going to start with defense for him now, but I definitely don't think he's going to be anything of a star or anything like that, like a lot of people seem to think. What about you?
I'm going to have to agree with Jaylen Brown. I don't think he's an NBA player. I don't think he's an NBA player. I wanted him to go to a different school and stay in school. Me personally. I think that would have helped him out a lot.
I agree with that.
Yeah, to just throw him, first of all, not taking a jab at LeBron, but as a father, if I'm a father and I'm great, right? I got a son coming up. I'm definitely going to say, hey, son, listen, I think you should stay in school and play for a little bit more because you're already going to have the weight of the world on your shoulders being my son.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So when you take that in a combination of not enough experience actually playing under the lights,
Yeah.
man, should have stayed in school for another year. You know what I'm saying? I want to see you in March Madness situations, take over some basketball games. That's what I want to see from you. Before I say I'm not going to just pull you along to the league. I know maybe you want to get him to the league and you want to play on the same team with him. You feel like you can carry him on the way and everything else. No, I want you to go out there and get it yourself. I want you to earn your way into the NBA. You know what I'm saying? And if I can help along the way, that's what I'm going to do. I just felt like he should have not played at USC in the first place. And he should have stayed in school for at least another year. That's just me personally.
I agree with you. You know how I feel about Brian, but I felt like he got a little bit impatient, got a little bit antsy, and I think he's so bad wanted to, and not that this was the only reason, but I think he wanted to have that on his resume. Like, yeah, me and my son play together, and I'm still playing at a high level because tomorrow's not guaranteed. I'm 40 years old, and my son had health issues. Nothing's guaranteed at this point. So I think he's just like, let me just get it. I think from him is more so, I think he was a little bit selfish on his part as a father. You know what I'm saying? I think he selfishly just wanted to play with his son. And I think, like you said, he rushed it a little bit. I think a year, in college would have benefited him greatly. And I also think that I think he's going to be okay, though, because he has access to LeBron 24/7. You know what I'm saying? I'm thinking about the car rides home from the games, the car rides to the game, like that kind of conversation and things like that. And he can literally see it because they're on the same team. You know what I mean? So he's teaching him the playbook and the offense and all that stuff. So I think if anybody is put in the best position to succeed, it's him. Because he is around him all the time. It ain't like, all right, I see you practice, or let me text him and see if I can get an answer. He's right there. So I think that is going to help him. Once again, going back to his mind, I think that's going to be his biggest weapon. Is just his basketball IQ. So we'll see.
I thought to myself, watching him even growing, I've always thought to myself saying, I just don't know if he's an NBA player. But I thought the one was not Bronny, but Bryce. I think Bryce is going to be the one when he hits the league. That's going to be the player that LeBron is looking for. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, so maybe it's just because Bronny is older and he's in the spotlight right now. But it just seems to me like Bryce is just so nonchalant about basketball. Like, I think he may have more so the natural gifts. Like, he's bigger in stature. He's got longer arms. Like, his measurables are just better for NBA player, NBA prospect. But he just seems like he's, even when I'm watching him work out, like, it seems like him and it seems like Bronny and Pops is going full tilt, and he's just like, like I don't know. So that's my only thing with him is it's the opposite with Bronny. It's his mind is what I worry about with him. And the physical part, I think, is there.
Even with Bronny, I don't think neither one of them is going to have that dog. Number one, because when you see these players, they bring their kids to this league. Their kids don't have the same hunger that they do because they don't come from the same background that they do. LeBron played like his life depended on it because he
Yeah,
was
that's
from
true.
in Ohio, and he was trying to find a way for him and his mama. You know what I'm saying? So
That's true.
that's a different type of hunger. That's why NFL teams, NBA teams, they go after these kids with them type of backgrounds because they know it's the hunger. They're gonna play with everything they got. These guys they don't really have a reason to. You know what I'm saying? The
Yeah.
only reason they have is, hey, that's my pops. I want to be like him. That's it. So usually when these basketball players have children, they don't have that hunger in them. So,
Unless they just have a crazy love for it. Because sometimes you do find those that just have a crazy love for the game, like a Steph Curry, that just has it, even though he did come up in a much better situation, he just loved basketball. You know what I mean? So, like, to your point, unless it's a situation like that,
yeah.
most of the time the chip on the shoulder is not permanent. They have to kind of put it on and take it off. So, I feel you on that.
Yeah.
I feel you on that.
Yeah. So definitely background plays a part, man, with some of these young guys coming into the league. Yeah, and that's a great example because, even Dale Curry didn't grow up in that type of background either, but he loved the game.
He loved the game. Exactly.
He kept his boys around the game. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So that's a different type of connection there.
Right.
But
right.
Yeah, I just don't know if Bronny is a NBA player, man. I just don't know. I'm gonna give him just due, give him opportunity to get better, give him opportunity to work with his dad and the Lakers organization and see what they can bring out. But I don't know. I just don't know. I don't.
You don't see it, huh? So, do you think he'll be in the league for about 2-3 years, and then kind of fade to black, or like what is your?
I think he'll be in the league
projection. Yeah,
I think after his pops is done, I think you'll start to see him bounce around to the teams until he fades out.
Okay. I could. Yeah, I like. I'm not mad at that because I understand kind of where you're coming from with that. But like I said, we just gonna have to wait and see. Part of it does. That's an interesting point you made about once LeBron is gone, because it's a different kind of energy. It's a different kind of influence when he's still around the game, but not actually in the game. So as far as what happens to Bronny, could play a part. But that's a good point, bro. I never thought about that aspect of it. I can see that.
Yeah, like I say, even when you look at the GOAT's son, they didn't have that bite to him. Because of the background, and he didn't choose the right woman to procreate with anyway. So the genetics wasn't there. So that's Jordan's fault. But then when with the side chicks he procreated with.
Bronny had no side chicks, you know what I'm saying? He had no
dogs came out of there, said Jimmy Butler, Anthony Edwards. Yeah,
that's what we do. You just created
King's conspiracies, y'all. Listen to me. I'm just playing.
Right, yeah, we got to slide it in at least once a segment. I will say this. Not that this has anything to do with it. This is just kind of me getting at you. That's another reason why LeBron is better than Jordan, because his kids was way better. Jordan's kids will never sniff the talent level that Bronny has or Bryce has. So I'm gonna just leave that at that.
You know how many points Jordan's son averaged in college?
How many?
It's more than Bronny.
How many points he averaged in the NBA?
Well, listen, Jordan didn't drag his son to the NBA. Jordan said, "Listen, son, you suck.
But look though.
Jordan, see, it's the difference between a man and then
I feel you, but look,
babies. If LeBron, he already cried enough, and then you're gonna baby your son and bring him to the league, he ain't got.
But look though, if Bronny, if he dragged him there, if the only reason he got there is because of Bron, why were they telling teams not to draft him?
Listen, bro.
Think about they're not going. If he ain't good enough, they ain't going to drive him.
LeBron specifically wants him where he's at. That everyone knows
that's true. I'm just saying.
Of course they're gonna tell teams not to draft him. He's coming to the Lakers. Don't draft my son.
But the possibility, if he wasn't good enough, it wouldn't even be a possibility. They wouldn't be looking at you. That's what I'm saying. If he wasn't good enough,
did you see how Jenny Buss treat them players? LeBron went in Jenny's office and said, "Listen, we drafted my son," and she ain't had nothing to say about nothing.
Nah,
she be caressing them dudes. So listen, man. LeBron went in that office and said, "We drafted my son." Who in the organization gonna tell him no?
That's cool, but that ain't got nothing to do with the other team still wanting him. If he wasn't good enough, they ain't gonna want him.
LeBron, they don't want him. They want LeBron.
But if that's the case, then anybody would then the Bulls would have did that. We would have did that if it was that serious.
bro.
You know what I'm
You don't
saying?
want
I'm
to
not serious.
You do not want to disgruntle LeBron James in your organization. That's not a good look for your organization. They
So
know
why
better.
not? Why not?
Why don't you want an angry LeBron in your organization, bro? He gonna
Hey,
make
you
your
know how much
franchise look so bad. Just from the fans alone. You know how many
he
Bron
gon'
sections it
bro,
is in
he gon'
Detroit?
he gon' he gonna get you more wins and he gonna make you more money. What else do you want?
I'm not bringing
As a
nobody here that's telling
franchise,
me to keep away.
huh?
But as a franchise, you gotta have some type of pride, man. You just like you don't want
Hey,
me to
bro,
draft this. I'm not drafting him.
money talks, bro. You know that.
And that
Anyway, I didn't even
yeah.
try to go down this rabbit hole with you. I just wanted to, I knew that was gonna get you going. I had to slide it in there. Let's let's get to a couple more Pistons things, shall we? So let's get to this, bro. Should the Pistons at did you get to this already?
I talked about it
Okay,
quickly though.
because I wanted to get to this. I had a couple. I was just thinking about it today. I know we've all been talking about backup point guard and things like that. And for the record, I think you said it already. I still think Cade and Jaden are going to open the season starting as a backcourt. You know, and I think Jaden's going to go to the 2 when Cade goes to the bench. And I just think if that does play out, that we could use a backup point guard for injuries, foul trouble, like you mentioned. So I know we've heard a lot of people were talking about, you know, Tyus Jones. I'm not mad at Tyus Jones. However, I prefer to give a guy like we just watched in Summer League. I prefer to give that opportunity to a guy like Dennis Jenkins because Tyus Jones, right? He's established himself as one of the premier backup point guards in the NBA, right? Everybody knows that. And if Jaden does end up sliding to the point when K sits down, that means it's going to be limited and inconsistent minutes for any of the point guards. So I don't think Tyus Jones, somebody who's already proven, is interested in getting just spot minutes and getting DNPs on some nights, you know, on a team that had the worst record last year. So at this point, I don't even think we can afford him. I think we got like 10 million available in cap. I think it's 10, maybe 11 million. And I think he's going to demand more than that. So, but on the opposite, on the flip side, you got a guy like Dennis Jenkins, right? He played really well for us on both ends. He's a big guard, 6'4", plays D, right? And he's looking for any opportunity to make an NBA team. He's jumping at any role to prove his worth in the NBA. And he wouldn't cost us nearly as much either as Tyus Jones. So I'd rather say that 10 million we have left in cap space, you know, for a possible trade down the line at the deadline maybe, and just add Jenkins as that third point guard for way less. That's just kind of how, you know, like to me, that just makes more sense.
So my only argument to be that would go against that is basically what we've been watching over the last 3-4 years, right? Not having the veteran point guard to take over the basketball game at certain points when we need him, or when Cade is, you know, not available. You know, hopefully he's healthy, plays 82 games a season. Mm-hmm. But if he misses a game for whatever family reasons or something, or whatever it is, somebody who can hold up the mantle. Obviously, you have Jaden Ivey that can fill that role. Mm-hmm. But I just feel like at certain times the Pistons need a veteran point guard out there. That's just me. You know what I'm saying? The perfect mixture of young guys and veterans we talked about is important. But one of the most important positions that is, you know, one of the most important positions to have a veteran is at a point guard spot, you know, whether it's starting or off the bench. Mm-hmm. So that's the only reason I would say I would love to see them add someone else. I don't know at what point. I truly believe that it may come, you know, later in the season. Mm-hmm. I think we go into the you know, this NBA season with the roster we got right now. But at some point, I just want to see that veteran come. Like, for instance, you look at a lot of these teams, you know, that's been at the top that we watched in playoff contention. Yeah. All of them have that they all have that veteran guy. You know what I'm saying? Where it's a Drew Holiday.
That's a good point.
You know what I'm saying? Even Denver just added Russell Westbrook.
Right.
Saying right. So.
No, that's true. That's a solid point, considering the injuries you had and things like that. You know what I mean? I think, you know, we always go in with a fresh mind, myself included, going with a fresh mindset of that's not going to happen because it already happened. I mean, we're clear. So, but when reality hits, those things still do happen. You're like, bruh, So in those situations, to your point, you do need somebody because we really. So my question for you then is who would be on your radar? Because with 10 million in cap, even if you use all of it, you can't make any moves at the deadline unless it's a straight up trade and the salaries match. But who's available even at this point? Because at this point, I'm looking at who's available and I'm saying, is it worth it to even spend money on that guy? Is this guy that's left gonna make that much of a difference or help our young guys enough? Or does it make sense to just punt on that and just save your money? That was kind of where I was coming from. So is anybody on your radar that you're looking at?
And it's not anyone specific for me. I just think the best position for the Pistons is to hold on to that money and possibly, draw up a package at, mid-season after you say, hey, this team looks like we can fight for a play-in position, or I can add this guy right now, because a lot of those teams are going to be, letting guys go or trying to move guys. So me personally, I would, if I'm the Pistons, I would elect to hold on to that money until that point and see if I can ask somebody that's going to help.
So that would be the position you would use the money on, is what you're saying?
Yeah, either that or
gotcha.
Another big, obviously, but either that or, definitely got to have a veteran point guard somewhere.
Yeah, so basically, if Paul Reed looks the part, we're looking to get a backup point guard at the deadline. It's kind of where you're at with it.
Just
because then we'll have that. Okay, gotcha. Yeah, that makes sense. Solid point, bro. Solid point. I have no arguments there. One more thing I want to get to. I see y'all going crazy in the comments too. Ricky. I see Ricky Rubio. I haven't heard Ricky Rubio's name in I don't know how long. That's an interesting one right there. PD, that's a good. Do we still have the MLE? I thought we used that exception already.
Did we?
Was it on Beasley? We used it? I can't remember. We may or may not have to check on that. If you guys know, let us know if the Pistons still have the MLE, and if so, that could change things. But I'm pretty sure all we have left is just that 10 million. I think we used it already. I'm pretty sure we used it already. So let us know. Last thing I wanted to get to is something we talk about every year, and I am very, very interested in talking about this for this upcoming run, for these upcoming runs. Rico Hines, man. Rico Hines. So we already know Rico Hines. We know what it's about. We know how to get down at these runs, and we know that it's always entertaining. But always, right? And I'm looking forward to it, man. I don't know about you, but I don't think we've heard a date yet. I don't think there's been a date release for it yet. I know it usually takes place before training camp, usually in August or September. But the thing with Rico Hines is that, like we say with training camp, or we say preseason, it won't tell everything. All of those games, they don't mean anything necessarily, but they can answer some questions for you about certain guys. And it gives new guys an opportunity to get their feet wet playing with their teammates. And that's something that I really pay attention to. And they can kind of develop a little bit of chemistry and camaraderie. And I'm looking forward to seeing how guys, I don't know about you, I'm looking forward to seeing how guys like Ron, who I think Ron actually played last year at Rico Hines before he was even drafted last season. But yeah, guys like Ron, guys like Bobby, I want to see how they look, against more NBA level competition. What about you? What are you looking forward to with that?
For me, I want to see them take over the court. That's what I want to see. I want to see them, obviously Tobias is going to be there. He's always there. I want to see them out there as a unit take over a basketball court and play out there in harmony together. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm looking for. I mean, obviously for our young guys, it's more experience playing against the pros. You're playing against starting level guys out there. That's, it's a different type of setting. It's freelance ball. You know what I'm saying? These guys can do whatever they want to do out there, which makes the competition even more, challenging at times, man, because dudes out there trying to cook you. You got to bring it, at Rico Hines, man. So definitely going to be an experience for the young guys. I honestly expect guys like Bobi Klintman to flourish in that type of environment.
Yeah.
I can tell he loves to play free. You know what I'm saying? He loves to run. So I expect him to flourish in that type of situation. But I'm looking for guys like Duran to go out there and display something that we haven't seen. You know what I'm saying? I'm looking for K to go out there and just be dominant. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, nobody can check him. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? So
Absolutely not.
those are the type of things I'm looking for in Rico Hines, man. It should be
Okay.
a fun one for the Pistons this year.
You know what I want to see too, bro? And I've talked about this a few times. I want to, I definitely want to see if Asar's going to play. First of all, I want to see if he's going to be available to play. He missed summer league as a precautionary measure. But we were told that he's been practicing again. And he's practicing with the vets, and he's been cleared to play. So I expect to see him at those Rico Hines runs. I hope he's healthy and good enough to play. And I hope we get to see him and Ryan play together. I know the shooting between them is not going to be pretty for a while, but I just want to see defensively what they can do. I just want to see in transition what they can do. I think those two can be a nightmare in transition. If Fred Vincent, bro, if he's able to help them get like their three balls somewhere just near league average to where you could possibly play those guys together, like you could potentially play them in stints, with Jaden Ivey. And imagine those three in transition, bro. Like that's insane. So y'all let us know what y'all think. I want to know what you guys think too, as far as who you guys have your eye on going into Rico Hines runs and training camp and everything. Who you guys have your eye on? But I want to see those two play together, bro. I think those two, Sasser and Ron Holland on the floor together, will just be. They could be a terror, I think, defensively.
Yeah, I mean, walking into the league, both of them defensive-minded guys. But like I said, the ability to run that floor, what I'm saying, with that speed and accuracy like they can, along with a Jaden Ivey, would be something to watch, especially in the runs, because that's all they do in those runs.
Exactly.
So that would definitely be something to watch. Let's see the development process also with the jump shot. You know what I'm saying? They got some time from now in between now until that time. Let's see if we can see some improvement with that as well. So yeah, I'm definitely going to be all eyes on it this year. Rico Hines, it should be, something good for Pistons fans to watch.
Yeah. I saw this. I'm going to throw this at you. Is Stu still a starter next to Tobias? No. I think if anything, it's going to be JD. I've seen that, Stu potentially starting over Jalen Duren. If your other big isn't a big, there's no way. Because you're literally putting yourself back in the position you had before when you had Bojan at the 4 and Stu with the 5. And that was a nightmare. Like, if your other big is not bigger than Stu, Stu can't start. You know what I'm saying? That's just the way it is. I understand he can stretch the floor, but you have no rim protection whatsoever in that situation. So that's just my take. I don't, what do you think about that one?
Yeah, not even a question for me. Stu either got to go to the bench, or you gonna have you're not sitting. Beasley and Hardaway ain't sitting on the bench.
Yeah.
So
right.
That means either Stu or Ivy are going to the bench. One of the two. That's just what it is. You know what I'm saying? If Ivy starts, Stu's going to the bench. If you start Stu, Ivy's going to the bench because Jalen Duren's starting. He's starting.
Right. He's starting.
What scenario you bring up? He's starting. And the only way that Stu starts is if Tobias plays the 3.
Right.
That's the only way.
Exactly. So, we talked about this.
Yeah. Like I said, we'll see. We'll get a hint.
I would prefer. We talked about it. I would prefer Tobias to play the 3, bro. I feel like when he was here last time, him and Marcus Morris kind of both played the 3 and the 4. They kind of just like, you know what I mean? He wasn't really sure who really was the true 3 or 4. But I like him playing more so on the perimeter at that 3. Mid post, things like that. But yeah, I don't know. We're not gonna get too deep into that. But I definitely think that Jalen Duren is starting regardless of who else is on the floor. The same way I think Kate is starting regardless of who else is on the floor. And Tobias Harris. Those 3 are definitely starting for sure. Everybody else we gotta wait and see. But yeah, I just wanted to ask you to that. Yeah, Chess, I think, yeah. That's probably what's gonna happen. That's probably what's gonna happen. I don't know if it should happen necessarily, but I think that's what's going to happen. So yeah, that's all I got, man. That's all I got. I just wanted to see what you guys thought about the Rico Hines runs because they are coming soon. Somebody asked about when they're coming. It's usually like mid-August, early August.
It's close to just right before camp, usually.
Right before camp, right.
Going to camp.
Right. So yeah. Anything else you got, bro? That's all I got for tonight, man. Just wanted to.
No, I think we hit on everything, man.
Yeah, we can call it that. Just wanted to show appreciation and love to everybody as usual for showing up and showing out, man. If anything, per usual, if anything ever happens or anything breaking news pops up, we would definitely, between the two of us, get it out to y'all. But other than that, man, we're looking forward to Trent. What's up? What's up?
I do got something
Holla at me.
for my guy Blood Range in here. Listen, or I don't know what you were thinking when you said the Bears was going to win the division. You're out of your mind.
Oh, come on, man. Come on, man.
Fingernail paint is not
Come on,
about to win this division. It's the Lions division. Caleb Williams is going to throw so many picks, they're going to put him on the bench. This type of competition level, he has never seen before. I had my questions against him in college in certain matchups. This type of level of competition, he's not going to be ready for it.
You're not ready, huh?
Especially the Lions, because we don't kill them.
Yeah,
so
man.
Prepare for the Bears to get swept.
Yeah. I don't think they're going to get one against us, and that's not even a bias talking. I mean, we were already a better team than them last year, and we got so much better on the defensive side of the ball, and we kept everybody on the offensive side of the ball. So, we lost Craig Reynolds, and that's it. That's really all we lost.
You want to learn something? Get ready to watch. Training camp starts on the 29th, and I'm fully ready to go. So get ready, because those reports will be coming out of camp.
Yeah. For sure. And we're going to be doing, from our Lions fans, we're going to be doing post-game reactions every Sunday after the Lions game, immediately after it's over. So y'all can tune in for that. Y'all get the live reaction. Yes, I do know my football as well. So, yeah, man. Yeah, definitely had to point that out, because I did see that. And he said the Lions lost to the Bears. Yeah, last season is last season. We got better.
Yeah, different roster, too.
Totally different roster. Defense is gonna do a little clamping this year. Yeah. Rest in peace to Mr. Bryant, man. It's
Jelly Bean Bryant.
It's crazy. I saw the picture. Like when I first saw it, I saw the picture of the two of them, and subconsciously forgot again that Kobe is gone. Like it still hasn't sunk in for me yet, bro. It's like, man, Kobe's father passed. And then I realized, wow, it's crazy, man. It's really crazy. It's crazy. It's really, really crazy, man. Just life is precious, man. Life is precious. Rest in peace, Joe Bryant. Jelly Bean Bryant, for sure. I'm gonna leave it at that before I get too deep on Kobe. Be here all night. But appreciate y'all, man, showing up and showing out. We will be back on Thursday night to get at y'all again. And until then, Detroit versus everybody. Peace.